As the world today becomes more complex and the issues on the agenda on the table are more interdependent, we need a new way of understanding and taking action.
By some accounts, we now produce more data each year than the combined sum of all prior human history.
There's a lot of data. There's piles of data. It's not collected in the same way. It's not comparable.
There's so much data available, which is why there are all these opportunities now to make sense of it.
The relationships among the issues that we are thinking about today are increasingly complex and interdependent.
And so the challenge is, how can we better understand these relationships?
But this embrace with understanding, and that understanding precedes action. Putting data, information, statistics, stories in an understandable and comparative form is the role of the designer.
Data visualization, for me, is the idea of constructing a very dense interface between people.
Great design thinking is always about integration. It's always about designing for an intersection of people.
The kind of information we should be expecting in front of us is dynamic rather than static, that it's compositional based on people doing things. So the idea of collaborative composition, the idea of information being dynamic rather than static. So data visualization has an aspiration now and an importance now.
So today we are introducing a new project. We have over 20 academic partners, design schools around the world. Many of them are watching live right now around the world, and we're going to share it with you today and go live and bring you a new website. So this is visualizing. Every day we will highlight visualizations alongside breaking news and what's going on in the world. So with the abundance of data that's being made available today by government, by academia, by NGOs, we want to create tools to make finding that information faster and easier.
Science creates revolutions, technology accelerates revolutions. Design is a tool to help us negotiate those revolutions.
We're bringing visualizations surfacing from the community that has uploaded visualizations to Visualizing under a CC license, and then making it really easy to grab those visualizations, comment on them, associate some peer review, and then virally distribute them across the web, on Twitter, on Facebook, and any other social networks.
So it allows us to collectively look at an issue, look at its visual representation, and have a new starting point to collaborate towards a solution.
What we're trying to do is bring data visualization even further into our consumption of news, into our understanding of issues as they're unfolding, so that when oil spills happen, when the UN is meeting at the General Assembly, we have the capacity to crowdsource collaboratively and produce data visualizations that can then be figured across the web using the power of social media to impact the way we understand issues.
Data visualization as a form of design is the language that's allowing us to meet these goals.
And design is about change. It's this real great embrace with change.
It is time for designers and people who care to make it understandable.
What designers do so well is they integrate and they collaborate.
There is no way to do this kind of work unless you do it in a team.
Design is no longer the domain of a few, it's perhaps the language of all of us.